So it's been a year, well just over, since the release of Palworld, a game that exploded onto the scene. It quickly became one of the biggest games ever, but a year later, is it still worth playing, or even coming back to, for those who stopped playing a while back, last year let's say. In this video I bring you everything you need to know about Palworld as a game right now, the changes in regards to many new features and quality of life updates and much more. How's it going guys? My name's DPJ and if you do enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps me out, and if you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. So is Palworld still worth playing or worth playing in 2025? What does it now offer? What's changed? And what's even coming next? Well, it's probably important to mention firstly what's coming next to the game. So confirmed via a recent podcast I caught, Bucky, who is the communications director and publishing manager at Pocket Pair, confirmed that the studio is working on Palworld 1.0, basically the full release of this game. And within this guys, I expect to see massive and major changes to this game, as many current Palworld players can imagine going off the previous updates. But to even try and guess what these will consist of at this point is pretty pointless because of right now it's just pure speculation. But the changes they've made since the release back in January 2024 will probably give you a little insight into the direction Palworld is heading towards for that 1.0 release. So where do we even start with Palworld as it is right now? Well, I know, performance. Now I know it was a pretty wild ride on console, on Xbox at release, with many performance issues. It's why I actually went to PC. And I can say the game ran literally 100 times better on PC when this game initially did release. But it was never perfect. It was never perfect as a PC player. While still playing Palworld to this day, playing through all the major updates and so forth, I can say for me at least it's as perfect as a perfect can be expected when you consider what type of game this is. But do keep in mind I do however play it on my own world and have always done this. But the overall consensus is that the game is now in a much better state than what it was even 6 months ago, never mind a year ago. Console, I know they've been working hard to make it as fluid as possible, but due to limitations of what consoles can actually handle and put out, I think they still come into effect here. But here, also, the overall consensus seems to be that even on console the game's in a much better state than most people who stop playing will remember. So what about gameplay and content? Well, there has been many updates for this game, many quality of life changes and improvements to gameplay mechanics in regards to building, breeding, combat and so much more. More than I could ever even remember to mention, which is also why I ask current Palworld players to chip in the comments section here with details I might miss in regards to general gameplay improvements here. So yeah, let us know down below what you think. But yeah, in regards to gameplay and content, so much is being added guys. I mean, if you haven't played this game, let's say 6 months plus, it's gonna almost feel like not a different game, but the amount of things on offer here now, you're going to be absolutely amazed by it, because there is generally that much. And we can talk a bit about the features in regards to quality of life updates, changes and so much more, with the 2 major updates that were included in the game, both completely free by the way. No one paid a penny for these 2 major updates. And when I say updates here people, I'm talking in regards to content updates. There's been hundreds of patches and updates to the game to just fix things and add things in and so forth, but there's been 2 major updates, and the first one is the Sakurajima update. And I mean, this alone added in so much new content, and not to mention it all here, but we saw things like a whole new island filled with new powers and dungeons, a PvP arena, endgame oil rig challenges to put your skills to the ultimate test against those harder hitting enemies and pals, raised player levels and power levels, new power raids, meteorite events, tower mode hard bosses, new merchants, new items, many new weapons and much more. The second major update was the most recent one in the Feybreak update, and what this did was take something around the size of the Sakurajima update, inject a few of those roids and just throw it at the player, and not in a bad way either. The Feybreak update included yet another island, but this one absolutely massive, multiple times bigger than the Sakurajima update, or the Sakurajima island. It again added in tons of new pals, tons of new weapons, many new quality of life changes, many new mechanics, predator pals, expeditions, power research stations, bounty NPCs, new oil rig strongholds with an attack helicopter boss, pal and player levels raised yet again, and much more content, people. So yeah, there is tons to do here if you haven't played this game in a while. And I haven't even mentioned all of the new materials added into the game, which allow you to craft many of the new amazing blueprints, which can drastically change the way you play this game in regards to that quality of life. There's been many new changes added in regards to the player itself and those custom world settings. You can even have infinite carry weight and things of this nature. I mean, there's been loads of quality of life changes added into the game. And this is without me talking about the major changes added into breeding and the new passives, new rainbow passives, new passives which would drastically change pals, IVs, egg incubators, new movesets and skill fruits, the ability to grow your own skill fruits. I mean, there's just so much here, guys, it's wild. I'm actually remembering it as I'm thinking about it making this video. I haven't even scratched the surface here. A few new additions they have added into the game though with the latest Feybreak update will give you a little bit of an idea of the changes in quality of life updates they've brought into the game. Let's say the guild chest. This is a chest you can put in your bases, let's say one in each your, let's say you have 10 bases here, because you can have up to 10 bases now if you did not know. So yes, let's say you put one of these guild chests in your 10 bases. You can more or less then, guys, access materials across all bases from that one chest. So if you put materials in that chest from one base, go to any of the other 9 bases you have, and those materials are accessible from them other bases. Pretty cool. We then, guys, have the expedition sites, a feature which allows you to send your pals out on certain expeditions, which they take on the challenge themselves, where you do your own thing, and it will bring you back vital and rare materials. And there's plenty of these expeditions you can send your pals out on, with more that you unlock along the way. You have the Power Research Station, which allows you to set pals to work to earn you passive buffs in more or less every area of the game, from farming to growing crops to crafting to absolutely everything you can imagine. And again, guys, trust me, I haven't even scratched the surface in regards to quality of life additions added into the game to make it easier on the player, less grindy, and definitely implemented to help the more of a busier scheduled person who wants to experience this game and what it offers. I mean, there's changes here which accommodates that, yet at the same time taking nothing away from the hardcore player. My honest opinion is, if you played Palworld on release and like what you experienced, you enjoyed what was on offer here, the game is now not only in a much better state, it offers 10 times more things to do, to chase, to catch, to build, to craft, to absolutely everything. It's massively evolved. I mean, not to try and use a Pokemon reference here, but it's literally a Charizard of a game now compared to the Charmander of a game it was on release back in January last year. So if you ever wondered if Palworld is worth returning to, can scratch that itch you might have, I'd say it's 100% worth returning to. You know how games just evolve over time? No Man's Sky, for instance, although that was a letdown on release, Cyberpunk a letdown on release, you see the direction those games have been taken in. Palworld is absolutely no different. It has drastically changed from the game it was at release, even though at release Palworld wasn't too bad whatsoever. It's just a much better game. So yes, guys, if I was asked if Palworld is worth playing in 2025, does it offer more than what it previously did, I'd say yes, 100%. Guys, if you're a player of Palworld still to this day, experienced it on release and are experiencing it on now, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section and what you'd say to the player thinking about coming back. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps me out. If you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe, and hopefully, guys, I will see you on that next one.